Good morning and day 2 on Sculptfab. So there's one tool that I want to spend some time showing you a little bit, and then I've got an exercise for you. So I'll start by shrinking my head. There we go. Now that we're in Sculptfab, I want to spend some time showing you the drag tool. Now, if you want to make your character larger than this ball, which you usually do, this is a tool that you can use to pull out the surfaces of the sphere and start to make shapes. Now, I also think it's more beneficial to pre-create a general shape for your character using something like Tinkercad. Surprisingly, when I tried using SketchUp, it destroyed. Actually, I'll show you. In SketchUp, I had this. Let me undo here. It doesn't undo all the way, of course. Alright, so I just reloaded this basic figure that I played with. And when I was using this, here I got my brush. I'm going to set the intensity very low, 0.1, barely anything. And now check it out. It completely destroys my object, and I think it's because I use SketchUp on this one. My thought is that when you create objects in SketchUp, they're hollow inherently, and I think this may have just been a shell of a person. So when you start to brush it, it gets real ugly real fast. So Tinkercad is a free resource that you can produce STLs or OBJs, and when I used that, it actually turned out fine. So, drag tool. So the drag tool will allow you to pull out a section of material. Now, I want to point out, you see how thin it gets at the end there? It looks like a weird fungus. When you do this, I would really recommend an exaggerated radius, which will give you a more limb-like thing. And then you could use your brush tool to extend and fill out pieces. So, once again, that drag tool can be used to, it could be used to make limbs, but exaggerate how big you want it to be. Otherwise, you're going to get some ugly-looking stuff. Yeah, real creepy. There we go. Let's see, and then another one that I think is valuable, the paint tool. One comment that I have to make is you should write down the color code. The color code is right there. It's number A4242. Now if I change it to this, I can now select this, paste it, enter, and it'll get me back to my original. So I was just playing around and I made like a turtle looking thing, and it's a little monstrous, but one issue that I had was I didn't save my colors, and so when I went to do the eyes, I actually had to clean them up, and it, yeah, didn't match perfectly, and I'm not good at that. So, alright, so we talked about paint, we talked about drag. One thing I also point out, if you rotate too much, it breaks your object in a way that can't be brought back. So now I'm stuck with this cancer of a swirl on their face. Okay, those are some tools that I just wanted to spend some time playing around with. Now your task. You are going to be recreating a Pokemon. If you're not familiar, Pokemon is little pocket monsters, originated in the 90s and it's still around today. But the reason I chose this is because there is some detail while still being cartoony. And this is going to be a multi-day assignment. I'm assuming 3 days at this point, where what I need you to do is pick a Pokemon that has limbs or a tail or something. Can't be like a Voltorb, which is a circle or something like that. And you need to try and accurately recreate this character. Now, unlike my other online grading assignments, this assignment is going to be graded based on your accuracy to the character. I understand you're new to this software, but from my understanding, this is more of an artistic skill, the ability to, bit by bit, create an accurate representation using the tools that you were able to play around with yesterday. So what I recommend, take 20, 30 minutes a day, continue making progress on your character purposefully, and start with the general shape. You're going to start with the general form of the character. Then you're going to start shaping the form of the character, and I really highly recommend symmetry if you're going to be making something with two even sides. Once you have that general form down, that's when you start shaping the body parts. Once the body parts are shaped, that's when you cut creases and you define characteristics, whether it be a face or arm, elbows versus like a bicep or something like that. And after you've then added those details, then you color. It's kind of like when you're building something that you're going to paint. You don't paint until the very, very end, because then you can't change the shape as easily. That's your assignment. Good luck.